I'm Tom Johnson, Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restoration in Gorham, Maine. Today we're taking the time to celebrate a big milestone, 100,000 subscribers. I call it an overnight sensation because it only took us 10 years to do it. I want to thank my subscribers and all my viewers. I couldn't have done it without you. You know, over the years, the number one comment I've had is about my clamps, the variety and quantity. You have to realize that for 40 years I had a shop with 3 or 4 guys, so we could have as many as 10 projects going on at a time. But having a variety of clamps and a lot of clamps comes in handy. Here I am using cauls and platens, and my editor made a great animation showing the geometry and physics behind their use.
Here you see a cross-section of a piece of veneered wood. Take a clamp and apply some pressure directly to the piece. The pressure radiates out from the clamps at 45-degree angles. Put on another clamp, same thing. The problem here is that if you don't put the clamps close enough together, you can get spots where there isn't any pressure or not enough pressure to do the job. And with a clamping job like this one, there's only enough room for a couple of clamps. So here's what you do. Take your piece of wood, put another piece of wood up against it. This is called a platen. And behind your platen, a bracing piece of wood called the caul. That way, when you put on the clamp and apply the pressure, it radiates out over a much larger area. Now you can put on a second clamp and know that you're getting pressure over the whole surface of the wood. So when the glue dries and you take off the cauls, the platens, and the clamps, your piece of veneered wood is nice and flat. These cauls have a camber to them, like this, which will give us really even pressure.
I often need to make a special block to help keep a clamp on a curved surface.
Here's this big separation right here. So I'm going to need to clamp, put a clamp or a block of wood here or something in this area perpendicular to this piece and see if I can use a clamp to bring it back down. Okay, this thing's starting to move, and I'm thinking that I better not clamp it any further. I think I need to get glue in there, and then just go for it. I know it was never completely together because it was filled with dirt and dust, but I think I got it as much as I can right there.
Often you have clamps going in different directions. Clamping shaped elements is always a challenge.
All right, that went together pretty well. And so I think tomorrow I'll be able to glue the whole thing up.
looks good.
Some clamps have very specialized uses, like these, for gluing edges.
So on some of these smaller pieces, I'm going to use a new kind of clamp that I got called a bandy clamp.
Spring clamps are always very useful. Here I use them to glue delicate moldings to a door. I'm often gluing unusual objects like this guitar neck.
You know, I got a little part right here that I think I need to clamp this way. I don't know when I can get in there.
Often glue-ups can get quite hectic. Some objects just seem so almost impossible to clamp. Here I make a block to fit a leg and actually nail the block to the leg to hold it in place.
All right, now I'm thinking that maybe I should make a block that will fit right here where I can get clamping pressure straight across. I want the pressure to be perpendicular to this brake. I've got a few clamping points here I think I can use. So I've got a cutoff from a 2x4 here that I think might work well. If I can cut this out and shape it to fit around this knee, might just be able to clamp it. It's not bad. I need to angle this cut in there. Okay, that's not bad. I need to take some off of these corners here. All right, not bad. I think I'll take it to the sander and take a little bit more off here. Maybe change that angle a little bit. All right, I think I've got as good a fit as I'm going to get. I've got quite a few contact points there. I'm not sure it's perpendicular to the brake. It's close. I think I need to take a little bit more off it here and here, and then I'm going to see what I got.
Feels solid already. See if I can get a couple more clamps on it. Boy, this seems really good. It's really solid. It's kind of exceeded my expectations.
Sometimes you have to get creative with some automotive hose clamps. Often you need a lot of clamps on a curved surface.
This is a piece of regular 1/4-inch ply covered in plastic. All right.
Once again, odd shapes like this crown molding can be very difficult.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what this looks like tomorrow. All right, let's see what we got here. No surprises there. There we go.
Some objects can be particularly difficult. This shows again the use of cauls and platens and also using clamps to hold other clamps in place.
So I think I've got this board located right under the crack, and I'll mark that with some tape also. The arrow points down because this board has a slight camber to it, so the pressure will go to the center first and then work its way out. Here, as far as I can tell. All right, I'll tighten it up some more. I think that went well. We'll find out tomorrow when I take the clamps off. And I can't overemphasize how this is a good example of how important it is to clamp everything up dry before you do the glue up. This went really smoothly, and I had practiced it quite a bit.
You just can't have too many clamps. Thanks for watching, and here's to the next 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that is the same woman. Look at her.